Ahoy and welcome, people. How are you going? Screezilla here. Now, I'm sorry I've been away for a while. I've been having a few health issues, so it's been a bit of a while since I've done any videos. Thought I'd change this tonight. Doing a bit of a video on World of Warships for a change, something a little bit different. I am here in HMS Campbeltown, a Wicks-class destroyer, originally USS Buccaneer, from America, obviously. She was given to the English fleet during the Second World War. There was a sort of big influx of need of ships, and she was one of the ships that the British bought. Now, the Campbeltown is a pretty famous ship, if you know your history. Now, also, I will just let you know in advance, I suck. I am really not a very good player of World of Warships or World of Tanks, so this might not be a long video. And I'll probably look like an utter noob. So, please forgive me in advance, guys. Please do. So anyway, Campbeltown was a bit of an old ship at the time. Made in 1918. A bit out of date when it came to the Second World War, of course. She was used in a lot of different sort of areas, sort of in the Atlantic, things like that. Escorting some of the cargo ships, and just doing general patrol, general things like that. The most famous part, of course, came on... when was it? I always forget the date of the raid. It came at the Saint Nazaire raid. So, what this was it's a raid on a French port, where the Bismarck, well, the Tirpitz actually, not the Bismarck, because the Bismarck was done by then, but it was a port at which the Tirpitz could dock, for repairs, of course. And it meant that, well, they needed to get rid of it, so they could, pop up a smoke screen here, do some hiding. So they needed to get rid of it. Pretty sharpish. Let's see what they do. So yeah, they needed to get rid of this area pretty sharpish because, well, the Tirpitz was a pretty dangerous ship. They needed really to stop it from being able to get into the channel, because if it had got in a channel, it would have caused mayhem. Even worse if it had got out to the main ocean. So they actually got a kill for once. So they needed to get rid of it. They needed to get rid of this port. They needed to make sure that the Tirpitz was not going to have a safe spot to moor and to live. So the British decided this was not going to be an easy one to do. The RAF couldn't do much, unfortunately. They tried bombing it. Not much came of it. The RAF had a few attempts at taking out the let's hope none of those hit us. Let's back slowly away. So the RAF were having trouble taking out this dry dock. It was a pretty sturdy dry dock, of course. So they had a big problem here. So what was devised was a raid by a new detachment of men, brave young men of the British Armed Forces. The Royal Commandos. So what they devised was a raid. So Tommy's decided, well, how are we going to do this? What are we going to do here? Okay. How are we going to actually managed to do this. You know, this is going to be a pretty hard job, isn't it? You know. So, what the English did was they decided, well, bombing's not working. What we're going to do is we're going to pack a ship full of high explosives. We're going to send it to the port, going to crash it into the gate. We're going to absolutely ruin their day. So, what they did was they changed the Campbeltown, added a smokestack on it, changed the smokestack layout. I believe this is actually the smokestack layout they added to make it look more like a German destroyer, more like a German ship, because German ships tended to have 4 smokestacks rather than the British ships. So it gave it the look of a German class ship. So they decided, well, let's try and sneak down here. Let's pretend to be a German, and let's see if we can't give the Hun a jolly good bashing and bugger up their day. So that's what they did. So I'm going to go all quiet here. Completely bollocksed up my smoke screening. Let's hope some of those torpedoes hit his arsehole. I think we will, but we'll give it a try. Might be unlucky. No, no miss. I'm hopeless with torpedoes. So, the commandos took the ship. And they... Oh, this isn't good. We are not going to survive this. As I said, I'm not very good at this. So yeah. So they crashed it straight into the wall of the dock, well, the gate of the dry dock, and set a timer. Boat crashed. Commandos got off. Commandos disembarked, caused a lot of mayhem, of course. Now, the other thing the commandos were doing was they had a big group of English patrol boats, smaller ships basically, follow them to try and take them out of the area. Try and escape, but pretty sure most of them knew that that wasn't going to happen. It was very much a suicide run. It was a suicide mission. It was a one-way mission, really, and most of them knew that. So, Campbeltown struck the gate. Everybody disembarked. Big old fight happened. There was a few Victoria Crosses given. Many of the commandos got into the shipyard, planted charges in the area, destroyed electrical devices, pumping stations, something like that. They did a bloody good job. Many, of course, didn't make it, unfortunately. It was about 12 hours after the Campbeltown had crashed, of course. The Germans were inspecting it and asking the commandos, you know, after everybody had been tethered up and were being interrogated, what are you doing? You know, why did you think this would work? You know, not expecting the Campbeltown to be packed with tons and tons of cordite, because that would just be silly, wouldn't it, really? So, on the morning, German officers and soldiers were having their photos taken on the Campbeltown, laughing away, going, ha ha, look, you know, we caught these silly Englishmen. All of a sudden, the cordite fuse, which was an acid fuse, so what it was basically, it, glass vial, and once broke, it would drip a small amount of acid through, and then create a spark, and then go boom. Not the most reliable of things, which was another thing the crew were a bit iffy of, because once, a lot of the time they wouldn't work, a lot of the time they would go off at the wrong time, sometimes they just wouldn't go off at all, other times they would just go off randomly. So, yeah, it went off, and there was a rather big boom. When I say a rather big boom, it was a huge explosion. It took out the wall of the dry dock. It took out a lot of the area, and it took out a lot of German soldiers on board. It created a big diversion as well, which meant that a few of the commandos could escape. Now, it was a successful raid, but there was a lot of loss. And it also led to Hitler's infamous command of they will not take prisoners for British commandos. Because of what happened, this does not look good for our team here. Because of what happened, they pretty much said, look, we're not taking these guys as prisoners, they cause too much trouble. So all commandos were to be shot on sight. But that's the Campbeltown. A pretty epic ship. Wicks class destroyer, as I said, so down the US line, if you go for the Wicks class, that's what you're getting. It's a decent it's a pretty decent ship. It's quite fun. I've had a good run in it. My win-loss ratio is actually pretty decent in it. You wouldn't have guessed it, but I've actually had some good wins in the ship, and some good moments. I'm finding the American style destroyers to be much more fun for my play style, more of a gunboat than a torpedo vessel, because as you've seen in this video, I suck at torpedoes, both in this game and actually in War Thunder. But War Thunder, I do blame that game more than anything else on the torpedo issue, because, well, the torpedoes in that game are horrific and hardly ever work how you need them to. This carrier's best bet is just ramming this guy, because he's going to get a big swarm of torpedoes in his face any second now. Like so. So yeah, it's a really good ship. I recommend it, especially with the British cruisers coming up. Yeah. So I'll be back to making some more videos soon. I don't know why I've got team killing. Yeah, actually, I didn't do any damage to my team this match, did I? Caused 4 damage to an ally, apparently. Oh, no, I've got 4 battles remaining. I don't know when that happened. Yeah, alright, well, okay, I'm rambling on there for a second. As you saw, terrible match for me. Didn't do too well. Got a few points out of it. Got a first blood medal, I guess. That's something. Better than nothing. I'm still learning destroyer play. I'm a battleship player at heart. I'm sort of much better at sitting back and shooting shit with guns than I am getting up close. But yeah, as I was saying, I will be getting back to some more videos soon. I do apologise about the break. I've been very unwell, unfortunately. So yeah, I hope you stick around, and I hope you look forward. Now, I'm also going to be moving house shortly as well, which is another reason why I've been doing less videos, because I've been very busy with house hunting and sorting out injury stuff and things like that. Short story, but I very badly injured my back a couple of years ago, and I've been going for a lot of rehab and things to get it back to normal. So I hope you stick with me. I hope you don't mind too much at the lack of videos at the moment, but just be known, I'm still looking out for you guys. I'm still going to be making some videos, and I'll be back with you all again soon. I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you all again soon. This is Screezel out.